see the marabusta of the seabirds kind of also taking advantage to have their last meal for the day. And she grows, and this Persian cow, which was chosen to also fish, were very interesting. So I always say Uganda is abundant of food that even cows are eating from leftovers of food. Anyway, right now I'm inside Makerere and I'm exiting. I thought I should go outside the boundaries of Makerere and show you how the city is looking like on this day of Christmas. It's a beautiful day and it's a calm sky, right? And that's thank God that hasn't rained, so I think Christ is also trying to make the day as pleasant as possible. Anyway, let's go. By the way, this is not to mean that this is the day Christ was born, but it's just the day which is to celebrate his birth. And of course, I don't think anyone was keeping birthdays on the day Christ was born. But if he wanted to, he would have. Because, I mean, he's an all-knowing God. But imagine it was such a time. And this is actually Kenya's favorite food, the sukuma wiki. I don't know who chose to plant them. In English, I think it's called kale, but that's it for now. So, if you're new here, by the way, hit the subscribe button. Okay, I didn't expect people movement, but I already see people moving in the distance. Probably some are from church, judging by the level of curtain. Because inside Makerere, actually there is a St. Francis church, and they tend to hold service for guys that are from Rua. People look smart. Kind of this reminds me of those days when I was a child and people would dress up for Christmas. But alright, welcome back. This is the Kumi area, the residential and food hub for campus students who are not around today. And I'm actually surprised to see people moving around here. In my mind, I thought I'll find very empty streets. Anyway, this is the Muganza Wongera street. More like Muganza is someone who's like favored. Wongera, I think, this is gift. Yeah, it's a beautiful stretch. And as usual, I love to give you a bit of a history of this road. Now, Makerere University has a perimeter wall, but this actually cropped up very recently when it was about to clock 100 years. I think in 2017, that's when the bishop of Dr. Tango Doi, the convocation lobbied for the perimeter wall because this wall is too big for us. And it actually marks the boundary between the formal establishment, that is for education, Makerere University, and the informal enterprise of Kumikim. Actually, most of these stores are closed. I think there's nothing really happening around here. And I believe I'm going to stop in the distance. And even this surface was come up just recently. By recently, I mean like 6 years or so ago, by the then executive director of Kampala from the it was basically a potholed Maram Road, which when it rained barely students would move around. Someone else was going to jog on Christmas. Interesting. I guess there's no reason not to do it, even if it is Christmas. And that's the dedication of a sportsman. I kind of hope I had such a reunion. Anyway, in case you're wondering, this road continues into the distance to meet Sapo Kagwa Road perpendicularly. I think about 1.5 kilometers. Before I take this food fast, I hardly see many people. So that means truly neighborhoods are kind of special. I think the reason is because a good number have gone into the villages. And if you see over the distance, those are the suburbs of Mulago, basically Jamaica or Jamaica or something like that. I don't know even how they came to name it Jamaica. Probably they had a lot of wannabe musicians who were trying out reggae. And as we all know, reggae originates from Jamaica, so probably that's one of the reasons I may think could be. Anyway, let's look and see what Kampala is looking like on this day of Christmas. Oh, the sun is very pretty. By the way, it's actually 5:30 p.m. Look at the sun in the skyline. I hope it does you justice and you're able to actually see it. This building actually belongs to Great Lakes Safari. I don't know, okay, it's called Great Lakes House. I kind of just assume it belongs to Great Lakes Safari. I see construction ongoing. I do not know whether it's going to be a hostel. It is strange. But even on Christmas, someone is looking for a dime. Yet I think it's a day they should have rested. Today they should have rested. As you may have noticed, a lot of establishments are rested. Oh, I see rebars here, so probably it's part of this primary building built. And this is a bit of a courtship industry, cottage industry, actually not courtship. They kind of make sofa sets, and that's how the frame looks like, in case you wonder, to give it some form. I keep wondering what the durability on this furniture is. I think this one is going to be scrapped for a frame, or probably someone has bought it for renovation. Anyway, and I think it doesn't stop a lot of them staying around and handling for business. But we are actually now joining Bombo Road. Someone is already having liquor in celebration of Christmas, which is a bit weird because the Bible kind of doesn't really encourage this type of prudent things. Now we have reached this intersection between Bombo Road. This is basically Bombo Road into the distance, and that is the traffic light junction where it meets in the distance. I think it's called Binaisa Road, and Binaisa was one of the presidents of Kampala, of Uganda in the years. I haven't respected the light despite it better being empty. I'm crossing from the wrong spot because I simply want to show you this interesting intersection, which today, surprisingly, is empty. It's after 5 p.m. I think this is because of Christmas. Now, if you're wondering, this is the route that goes to Gayaza and then northern, maybe not northern Uganda, central Uganda, because of Kayunga and all that. So that's the traffic around here. But for now, let's take a walk onto Binaisa Road. And this magnificent structure, if you've been around enough, is the synagogue church of all nations. If you know of Pastor Kakande Ministries. The truck is the light. Uganda is always fun. If there's no policemen to watch, then at times they choose not to. Look at that beautiful Ugandan sunset. That is basically the West Aruna Tower. I think Aruna is a brother, so he needs to go in the Park Petrol Station. But this Business Road actually moves into the distance, and if you look closely, you will see Mulago Hospital, at least a new wing in the distance, which was recently renovated. It's not that it is new, but it came after the old one. Alright, let me find my way. We're crossing the road. And I leave it to the street. So this is the streets of Kampala, and it's day of Christmas. And we are now on Binaisa Road. More of the synagogue church of all nations. The gentleman is called Professor Kande, and I think if you've been in Africa in the recent past, I like the Christmas decoration in the inside. It's a magnificent building. It's a specialist display to almost a posh neighborhood. Back then, was very, very slummy. So that was a point where people would get some spring water. And yeah, I bet people who never bought here now wish they did buy. It is quiet. I think their Christmas service has long gotten done. But let me walk you through. My hope is that we'll take you through the slum of Katanga and then out onto Wandegea traffic light junction. Maybe these places could be dry because I'm outside the city center. And I consider Wandegea the beginning of the city center, basically. Because it's, I think, just about 1 kilometer into the city center. It's not 1.5. So Binaisa Road is looking like that. Alright, tell me about Binaisa Road and who it is in the comment section below. If I think you know your history of Uganda before I actually tell you what I know about Binaisa Road. Uganda is actually a very interesting place. This is actually watching back, and yeah, I think cars need to be cleaned on this day too. And besides on Christmas, I guess also people get to charge a bit of higher prices, so it's a day to make some last minute back more than usual. Alright, now that you've already commented in the comment section, let me tell you about Binaisa. He actually lived from 1920 to 2010, so he saw a good 90 years, almost hitting a century. But he was a pivotal figure in the history of Uganda. He served as Uganda's 5th president, and that was between June 1979 and May 1980. Barely a year. But it was after a turbulent period as the ousting of Idi Amin had just happened. He was a highly respected lawyer and a Queen's Counsel. I don't know whether that was a title during those days, but he spent many years in exile in the United States during Milton Obote's regime, because Milton Obote succeeded him. You'll be surprised that he's often remembered for his sharp wit and legal mind after he was ousted from the presidency. He famously returned to Uganda years later and lived as the only former president under the state's care until his death. So I believe President Museveni hasn't done badly. Oh, this is an interesting junction. So that is the tarmac that goes into Jamaica, Mulago Slum, and this is Mulago Hospital. That's the mortuary entrance, the new Mulago building. And this road actually stretches to meet the junction at which Haji Musa Kasule Road coming from Makerere. Ah, wow! Look at how beautiful Makerere Hill is. And that's the university for you. A lot of lush green trees. Very interesting place to be. And I was telling you about how it meets Haji Musa Kasule Road in the distance that comes from the entrance of Makerere University and it's Kira Road. So that's Mulago new building. And we are still on the Binaisa Road. I would have taken this route, but I want to brave it and move through Katanga, because I'm very certain that the people of Katanga, majority may have not gone to the villages by virtue of the fact of their little income. And so when you find yourself in Uganda, please visit Uganda. Lovely trees, and you'll see mostly motorcycle riders moving, because today a lot of public cars are not running, and it's mostly people who are trying to probably take around the few people who have remained around town. And if you look at it, even private cars are very few. It's actually a weekday, in case you guys are wondering. Today is after a Thursday, so it's a super weekday. So 5 p.m. would normally be a time when working class people are leaving from work. Washing days. I think this is a happening joint, so probably at night there'll be some action as people come to enjoy and loosen up. All right. Anyway, let me also take this opportunity to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Yes, I know some places have just started, probably the United States, it's early in the morning. People like Japan, I think, are concluding the Christmas. This looks like a shopping center, but some of these land, since someone just put up something by virtue of the land not having proper ownership. Is this a newly added structure? I see still glass windows. I hope doesn't make it like an oven, seeing that the sun is looking straight into the inside, the microwave effect. More people, I suppose, returning from church. Yeah, so I am giving you the city the way it is. And I've not really been to Katanga around this time, but I believe I'll figure out a way. And in case you see this video, but I don't know why slums have been thought of to be dangerous areas. I feel like, I think people just imagine that it should be by virtue of people having low income. And it's always assumed that low income is associated with theft. This dog, what she's up to, no one knows. So Mulago Hospital is actually also huge in its own right, and I think that's St. Luke Chapel, bordering Mulago, and actually behind it there must be a mosque. So there's a tendency of churches being around mosques. And I think it's just normal, because if human medicine fails, then faith is another option. Try out. Anyway, now I'm going to branch off right here, or from around somewhere here. And yeah, so I think I should pass through here. In the distance is a traffic light, so that will meet Golf Course Road. So anyway, let me take a detour through the slum. No problem. This is roughly the boundary, so maybe you may not see a lot of action. No, Charlie. So let me walk through, and I think it is actually very hard to walk where there is people. And there's action, people are celebrating early in life, so it's a great day. But yeah, I see some activity here, because most of the people are actually home, but I think this is their main street. And the slum is not as horrible, because I'm actually speaking through my phone, and people children play hardcore. I think someone expects to make some construction. Yeah, so this is Katanga for you. It's a beautiful place to be. And I see some chickens free ranging. What are the guys? The place has been reached out by a lot of groups of sort of stuff. So anyway, shops. I think this should be the main street of the slum, and then not the movie library or local translation. But let's go. Plastic recycling. I'm actually happy that this is happening within the slum. So let me take this route, and you can see the kind of place they're staying. The slum is surprisingly not smelling. I think the people actually do some cleaning to it. This kind of reminds me of the days when Naguru go down slum was trying by its own right to get better. So now I'm just simply going to follow where everyone is passing to get my way through. So this is Christmas. And by the way, if you ever find yourself able, please do visit these people and support them. They have actual needs, but they're generally chilled people, and they are kind of celebrating, which is very interesting. Yeah, so this is nice in Katanga. It's actually beautiful, but people actually surprising to you. So if you really walk and are peaceful, I don't think you'll find any trouble. Anyway, I'm navigating through, I'm carrying a bag, and so contrary to, this is actually a movie cinema, I think, and even people are going to catch up with a movie. And I see they have improvised stairs that help them cross these areas. So now I'm going to just simply navigate through the alley so you can see how congested the structure is. And I don't know what their needs are, because I really, but I just can also see from the video, kids are just playing about. And they have a good immunity, surprisingly. And that's how you actually navigate slums. Yeah, I think it is safe, as long as you behave yourself. And now I'm exiting it. And in the distance you can now see the more organized student residences starting to show up, high-rise structure. So most of the slums are actually being reclaimed lately. The sun shines everywhere indeed. It's beautiful. And I think now we've reached the student hub, the JB hostels, and this is Mkinzi Road. Mkinzi Road. I don't know who Mkinzi is. Yeah, so now a lot of high-rise. So if you find streets that are tarmac, you'll also find better looking businesses. So you guys can look at the contrast. Where the sun is, that's Makerere University. And then you rotate pan right to Katanga, and then Mulago in the distance. I've used that route, so let me take this route actually to take you back to Wandege as we meet Bombo Road. Here to move in the distance. I think mechanics have to stay around car garages, and then food stuff selling joints. So sweet and chicken will be a lot of campuses where they can just red meat, most of the ladies, chapati, eggs, and the Rolex, let's say eggs rolled in a chapati. Just in the distance, that's one of the stories preparing it. Mechanics will say not to have Christmas, but I think in the evening they will go to spend some of that money probably in the pub. Yeah, so that's where I'm from. That's the Katanga slum. We've seen it from the side and now from the inside. And more student related businesses, probably hostels, better residencies for students. For the topmost floors, these are not very good for business other than just making money. How your motorcycles, if the person has it both, for his farm or businesses, or is he a trader? Yep. I can hear noise in there, and children like noise, so I think some have already started partying. Dakota, is that the name of the building? I suppose residences, and then the ground rooms become shops. Yep. You know, there's just a full of beautiful ladies. One that I see in the distance. And interesting how they played with wood to try to finish up the top floor of that structure. In Kinsey Road, it's also going to meet Haji Mustafa Sule Road. Anyway, I'm going to turn right and then join Bombo Road before I head to Wandege. So here we are, and these are mostly boutiques. I see a silver lining, but now this time it's golden lining, as the sun kind of makes that cloud interesting. I hope you guys are able to see it. I don't know the name of this building, but it's one of the highlight structures that started popping up in Wandegea, at least in my time. And it's interesting. Ryan Hotel. Oh, I don't know if in any way related to Ryan Hotel. Alright, so we came here, hit the subscribe button. We are officially in Wandegea, heading to the Wandegea traffic light, and this road is going to meet the Bombo Road, which is actually a highway that takes you to northern Uganda, one of the first radio roads that originated from the city. And that's the Equity Bank. I don't know why they chose that building. So in the distance, you meet that junction, the satellite junction that I showed you earlier. Okay, and then in this direction we head into the city center, that's City Square. So little action around here. Yeah, that shows you that Christmas indeed keeps people at home. Those who are moving have to move so that the day as it started first summer, of course for them they have to work because sickness knows no day. And they are relatively organized and have long superseded other small pharmacies that used to litter the entire street here. And I think the main advantage is the ability to deliver the drugs, which is intuitive, because if someone is sick, they are most likely incapacitated. Yep, and many pharmacies are borrowing a lift. But yeah, the college it looks like an old Indian infrastructure. I wouldn't be surprised if it is over 50 years old, because a lot of the early post-colonial or even during colonial time business buildings were mostly operated by Indian supermarkets. This one has been around, I think, over now 10 years. And we go right here. I see restaurant, Nyongeza restaurant. Nyongeza is like that extra portion they add you for free upon buying. Interesting. But I see also Dream restaurant having skills itself here. They began by selling food to students and gradually have upscaled to now own a shop on the street. And in the distance is the junction between Bombo Road and Haji Mustafa Sule Road. And beyond those lights, you'll find yourself in the city center. And this is Haji Mustafa Sule Mall. Just came here recently. I think I told you that Haji Mustafa Sule was a prominent businessman and a big contributor in post-colonial Uganda, having also been the vice president of the Football Association in his time. In fact, the road we are going to meet, one day guys are still cooking food, chicken. I think chicken will be something for today because being a special day, someone will have to eat. So the Rolex is there. At least I have hope that today says fine food. I will be able to eat today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go home, and I just want to take you to this junction. I always love it because it makes me happy to just show it to you. I have a feeling that there was a time this was after a roundabout, and then eventually converted to a signal junction, as most of Ugandan streets have been evolving. Roundabout being replaced by lights. So I think let me stand here. And what you see right there is Wandegea Police Division headquarters. And this is Haji Mustafa Sule Road going on to meet Kira Road. And where they meet is the entrance to Mulago National Hospital. And it's Haji Mustafa Sule Road, Hill, meeting Hill Road, where Makerere University main gate is. And Bombo Road leading to Bombo. And this is it coming from town. And just as it is bends and disappears is YMCA. We used to offer diploma and certificate courses, now degree courses. Anyway, Wandegea Junction for you. Let me head into the distance and join on to Junju Road. Okay. And yeah, there's a little semblance of life within the city. All right. Yeah, of course, when you're walking in Kampala, try to beware of blight. And let me just walk through here. These are shops, and they are closed, I think, because they really do not expect people around. Maybe there's a reason for the shoe guys to open up, because as people are moving around town, maybe remember they needed to gift a friend, or perhaps the place where broken one as they move around on Christmas Day. Anyway, my delight to have you here. And this is Wandega Market, North Wing. I think I've mentioned it to you before. And here mostly the chicken points, because chips and chicken are the item for Ugandans that are dating. And it originated from here. So you find that even establishments like Chicken Tonight, which is now all over the country, started from here. Okay. I just want to go and tip. Is the gentleman from whom I normally buy my Rolex. You see here being prepared is around today, because I like his formulation. So in a way, I'll people party. In a way, I'll eat 2 Rolexes and then call it a day. A lot of people kind of party, but let's go and join Bunji Road. I have just walked behind what would be Hajmisakasura. This bond always intrigues me. Last time I saw some cars that saying they are for sale while others didn't have signs. So I don't know whether those that don't have signs are sold off, or they are simply parking here, or they have been held for long. So now I'm going to cross, because I want to show you this one, the mosque. Me, I like how they built it. Yeah, more of the perimeter wall of Makerere University. So I have a feeling that I've shown you a bit of how the city looks like, because having shown you one day here, it can show you how much more may be inside the city. But if you should wish, I shall also walk you to the city, seeing that it's not yet 6 p.m. Yep, one day there, mosque, right there. And if any one of you here is aware of the story of Wandegea Mosque, it will be great. So it will be great, very great. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know. So tell me about the Wandegea Mosque. Well, it's most being told. I didn't say Wonder Girl. I said Wonder Girl Mosque. I think it's one of the most iconic, historical, significant places of worship in Kampala. And like many mosques in Uganda that fall under the Central Muslim Supreme Council, Wandegea Mosque is famous for being managed by the Wandegea African Muslim community. They have a long history of independence. Very, very interesting. So anyway, we are on Ginger Road, and that takes you to the University Hall, small gate. It's a foot gate, not for cars. Now, because this mosque is located in a bustling student and market hub, the mosque is better surrounded by that the one that gets famous TV chicken, and back on the east side and in TV little stuff, which is a bit interesting. I don't know whether you knew that history about the one that got mosque. Right. Anyway, I do not know. By the way, which year do you think it was established? I think it is not officially known when, but I think let me just give you a bit of the roots of this. The most origin is sort of like tied to the Wandegea African Muslim community. Historical records mention the first Ugandan pilgrims were flagged off for Mecca from Wandegea as early as 1922. This suggests that by the 1920s, the mosque was already a central hub for the Muslim population. So let me just talk about Haji Musa Kasule era. Basically, the most growth and prominence are heavily credited to Haji Musa Kasule. This guy was a very wealthy and influential Muslim landowner and businessman. A figure in the 1940s and 50s, and much of the land development in the part of Wandegea, including the roads around, due to his family legacy. Anyway, in the 1960s and 70s, there was significant transformation, and especially in the mid 2000s. And yeah, it has a unique history, which is a bit relatively informal in terms of documentation. So you'll not find so much. That's what I'm saying. If you know much about it, please do let me know in the comment section. So my aim was to figure out if my Rolex joint was operational, and if so, would be glad to buy from them. So let's get there. Okay, and in getting there, I'm going to just cross through here to sort of make it a bit easy for me to pass. And anyway, actually, it's very interesting that if you are calm and composed, it's very easy to find yourself around Kampala alley. And you guys have seen me pass here a couple of times, and people are actually chilling and making life. They're making liquid soap, chicken, and yes, it kind of feels like I'm passing through someone's alley. That this reminds me of Indian or mixed Indian heritage. We're partly close this, which is great. I think it's a private street, but it is public in a certain way. We're back on the Gingy Road. If there's a person who would have eaten food from here, they can actually put in place, let a campfire food. Nice. Now, near the University Hall small gate, to its left, just after the red thing, is where I would have bought the Rolex. Unfortunately, it is not operating, so I'll have to find a way of now getting what is from somewhere else. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Yeah. Alright, welcome back. I have just exited the Wandegea small gate at US, and I'm entering Wandegea Trading Center. So today is Christmas, and I thought I would show you how Kampala is looking on the day of Christmas. So I want to head through Wandegea, the bustling food hub of the student community, which right now are not at home, probably going to celebrate Christmas. And I'm on Gingy Road, which should meet Bombo Road, but you see in the distance at 90 degrees. Anyway, let me take you through, because I'm actually trying to find something to eat. So I am going to Wandegea traffic light junction. So come with me as I show you the famous Ugandan food called the Rolex. Better street food. Eggs rolled in a chapati. Anyway, you come and you see how it is going to look like. So some of these streets are very empty and desolate, because a lot of people around here being student focused, and students having gone home for holidays in their village out of business. So we will find A lot of people just trying to do a small pickup. So Wandegea Market, South Wind, and the birds in the distance. Basic barista skills academy. Yeah, businesses all over. So restaurants and hotels remain open because this is the time where even those who have never gone to restaurants will head to them. I don't like the movement of these boys, so I've decided to pause a bit to let them go through in case they have weird ideas. So if you're wondering what the name of this street is, this is actually, I think, Molondo Road. Molondo Road. Molondo Road. Yeah, this is Molondo Road. It just came off of Junju Road, and then again it's Junju Road there. I don't know why it's redundant. This space that is nestled between the Wandegea South Wing and Wandegea North Wing building puzzles me whether it doesn't belong to the city, because I see the structure has come into the space that was left between them, and it's going very slowly, which is not a sign of a city project, because it tends to rise very quickly. So you can suggest that this may be private land. Perhaps the owner donated in exchange for some money and has decided to also build. Now, this is the alley or street between Wandegea South Wing and Wandegea Majmusa Kasule Mall. So I want to grab myself a Rolex. It's now 7 minutes past 6, and my hope is that I will show you how it is made. So normally, as if the chapati is already fried, then the process of making the egg and the consolidation of the product comes in your presence. Anyway, so let me go off Wandegea Market. Phone repair clinic. It's kind of great. This is my boy. I occasionally buy from him. Yes, so I'm ordering 3,000, just shy of $1, because $1 in Uganda is 3,500. Now this is the process, and watch carefully. He cracks the egg, and 3,000 will get me 2 eggs and a pinch of salt. So watch the action as you also have a glimpse of Wandegea Market, so Wandegea Junction traffic light. This is Christmas, and today my meal is going to be a Rolex. We're happening in the distance after frying chapati, so you're blessed to see how the chapati becomes. It begins as dough, rolled into round balls, and then flattened out, and then put on fire with some cooking oil. Now the gentleman is looking for either a tool or a recipe for the Rolex. Now you may also notice there's some onion right there being chopped into the mix, and yeah, onions into the egg. I suppose I need some vitamins, and then I think some little cabbages, more vitamins, and the mixture is going to be stirred, and that is going to make the fried egg. By the way, right now, please hit the subscribe button. I'll be delighted to see you here again. Pinch of salt added. The hot pan, still some cooking oil. I think this is vegetable oil, plant oil. It's not animal fat. Pours it and spreads it out. Yeah, see, the factory that is manufacturing the first meal, the Rolex, an international Ugandan food. Yeah, so as you reckon, basically the eggs that are being rolled have a little more foodstuff added into it. I hope it doesn't burn it. Otatagenda kusirira? Oh, omuliro si mungi. I'm asking whether it's not getting burnt at the bottom and whether the fire is not exactly my experience. Okay. By the way, in Uganda we like our eggs well cooked. So if you come from abroad and think that it's burnt, and there goes the chapati, 2 of them onto the egg. Each chapati right there today is actually 1,000 Ugandan shillings. Less than $0.25. No, just over $0.25 because a dollar is 2,500 and each chapati is 1,000. Yeah, bear with me as I commented on the process. Okay, it's almost done. So the chapati just get warm. So in Uganda, almost all street food is hot. Things like tomatoes. Oba kyalina ku mboga onteekeramuko. So I was requesting if we could add me some fresh cabbage slices, mboga means cabbages, and that is from Uganda, the most spoken language in Uganda, and the language of the Buganda kingdom with the great heritage. Is adding me more fresh tomatoes. Yeah, Uganda has a lot of organic food, so this is basically a combination of carbohydrates, some proteins in the egg, mineral salts, and vegetables, both vitamin C in the tomatoes and some vitamin A in the greens, right there. So it's spreading out. The few cabbages talking about this. And this is the 10,000 Ugandan shilling note, so he will have to return me a balance. So what's of 3,000, sorry, 7,000, 3,000, sorry, 7,000. Yeah, and that's it. Wrapped and packaged in this polythene bag. They tried banning these in the past, but their utility has made it very hard for them to be fully banned. And people have just not gone through paper bags for them to be fully banned. And people have just not gone through paper bags. So this is 7,000 to 1,000 Uganda shillings and the 5,000. Neanza. Let's head into the distance. So I'm going to just give you a little walk, probably into the city. And again, I'm going to cross the Wandegea Traffic Light Junction, as usual, the intersection between Haji Musa Kasule Road and Bombo Road. So I am just walking. The lights haven't released me, but because there are no people, we have to negotiate with the motorcycle guys. That's actually the streets of Kampala. The lights at times are a suggestion mostly to motorcycle people and bicycle and pedestrians. Anyway, I have a feeling it's one of the not. Anyway, let's walk. And time is flying. Now this is also the other structure that I see is really, really interesting. The name of the building, Sami building. Building. I believe you've seen me on the reflection, and this is the street of Kampala right now. A lot of motorcycles, not even a lot of motorcycles, it's just that there are fewer cars. I think now, have a look. Behind the other hill is actually Namirembe Hill, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think that's Rubaga Hill. And that is some of the trees that are making the boundary of Wandegea Flat. Whoever owns that land must be a rich person, but I like the green. It's being planted. And it can make some really nice residential apartments as an extension of Wandegea Flat. Okay, Bible House. I think the street being straight, it feels like you're never reaching. I don't know whether the movement right now, are people trying to find themselves in happening places? If you're new here, thanks for watching. And let's see a lot of motorcycle guys. Guy doesn't have a helmet or front number plate, but I think this was the time before front number plate. I think this was the time before front number plate were thing. Yeah, it has the rare one, so I think we are good. City oil, kind of business. Save the money. Last time I was hearing a joke that in Uganda, if you make 100 million Ugandan shillings, which is probably about 30,000 USD, then the police DPC in your area has to know you. Now, when you make 10 billion, the president has to know you. So some of these people, I think, have stayed in business long because the president now knows them. That's just by extrapolation of the meaning of that statement. He's not a threat to the country, so he has stayed around long. So, moral of the story is, I think, in any country, if you want to maintain your business running for generations, I think you have to be cooperative with the government, even if it oppresses you. Find diplomatic ways of sorting that, other than rioting and striking and probably standing the opposition. Not to say that the opposition shouldn't be supported, because they, in most cases, have the moral standing to support the shortcomings of the government, which at times you could forgive the government for being short-sighted or blinded, and no longer forgive the government for being short-sighted or blinded and no longer aware of the pain they once knew or can solve. The pain they once knew or can solve. So occasionally they need to be reminded by people who are still with it. Anyway, let me head to town. Someone is busy on my phone. I think let me just answer them. Yes, hello?
Hey man, what's up? You're covered.
Oh yeah, I'm on the road.
And so are you going to get the village already?
Oh, I guess you could call it a village, but I'm not in the village.
Man, I thought you were around like that, but man.
Oh.
But man.
Oh. Anyway, I also wasn't able to find the part the other time. Otherwise, how is your Christmas? Not bad. Fine. All right. Fine. Now I'm just off a call from my friend. This street actually leads to Seka Market, the home of auto parts. So when you start that junction, you find mechanics and car repair shops. And let me get back to Bombo Road and join this street. I think it's worth staying in Novik Hospital, teacher's house. This is a monument. I always saw it from a distance and thought it was a stamp. I wonder what it is supposed to represent. Could you tell me about teacher's house and Novik Hospital in Uganda? If you know, please let me know. And yeah. that's an interesting building right there. I think let me just tell you a little right there. I think let me just tell you a little bit about Teachers Road. That's why it's owned by the Uganda National Teachers Union, UNATU. Kind of see that abbreviation there. Okay, it's supposed to serve as the national headquarters for Teachers Union. That's housing administrative offices, meeting halls, and UNATU Circle. That's a saving credit corporation. In Uganda's politics, it's a social landmark. Teachers have often is the war room where the nation's teachers try to organize for their salaries to be increased. Okay. It's not a bordering Batu Valley. So again, does anyone of you know about Batu Valley in Uganda? Tell me. No, because people are interested in, no? Yeah, so this is the city. Me, I have a feeling this is how far I have gone. But anyway, let me take you up to Watota Church and then return via Buganda. I'm leaving you with the street sound, just so that you can also enjoy the sound of the engine. I think now you can see the influence of the Indian community in Uganda. A lot of those structures built in their time. Some of them I think even still have Indian naming. Gastani House. Now this is the beginning of William Street, where it meets Bombo Road and then goes into the distance to meet Chagwe Road, more of the Rubaga Hill. And Namirembe Hill, yes, Namirembe Hill, correct. I see Namirembe, the church, that's Namirembe Hill, correction. So Kololo High School on William Street. But this is Bombo Road. And when you see the tree in the distance, that's about the end of Bombo Road, or its beginning. But if are all okay, there is a hotel. I kind of think less of them as a hotel. I see how you service spare parts. Okay, how do? I'll check on them when they open up for Christmas. Yeah, so this is the vibe in town on this Christmas day. And right now, I'm reaching the end of my journey. So if you've been with me on this trip all the way from Wandegia and into Kampala city, thank you so much. Okay, this is one of the backpacks around Uganda. Some gentleman was really creeping up slowly on me. I think he needed a client. My bad. Yeah, so buses here. See Eco Bus. Which one is that? Yeah, so I think people get bus services from there. And Kampala Road is about to start when Bombo Road ends. Really old building. I want to go into the middle of the road, just show you they are on one of them. Now, the one you see right here says 1949 GM building. And I'm right in the middle of the road. And this section is not separated. I find it interesting. And no one really ever makes U-turns around here. Alright, welcome back. Anyway, today we are yet again here. And we are going to take a journey from Chikumi on to Kampala, into Kampala. And today is the 24th December. So I want to show you how the city is looking like on the eve of Christmas. And as usual, we usually start our journey from here, and this area is Chikumi Chikumi. This is how it's looking like. And the road is Muganza Wongera Road, which many of you by now may be knowing marks the boundary between the formal educational establishment and the informal enterprise of Chikumi Chikumi. Now Muganza Wongera is a road that is named after a relatively local, and today I want to first take a walk and then take a motorcycle ride. He tried stopping me, but I am not planning to take the ride right now. So let me walk for a brief moment along this stretch of Muganza Wongera Road. And I think this is actually where it begins from, but where you see the wall, that's the perimeter wall of Makerere University. And behind it, around this section, is the Impis Makerere rugby ground. And into the distance, this slopes to meet Bombo Road, and past Bombo Road, you can see the hill of Mulago and the suburbs of Mulago. Chikumi Chikumi also is purely a student-driven economy. So you'll find that most of the shops here have, or most of the businesses here are student hostels, as you can see in the distance. And then, of course, typical things that students would need in their accommodation: mirrors, buckets, jerry cans, cleaning stuff generally. And we are delighted that we will tell you that this area, whose name is a bit interesting, and it's something that came to be in the 90s. As mentioned before, the area was named after the 100 shilling meals that students used to buy here in the 90s. So we are going to start our ride from the legendary intersection of Chikumi Chikumi and Bombo Road, the gateway to the Ivory Tower of Makerere and the real world hustle of Kampala. And for now, we will not see a lot of students because it's holiday time. Basically, it's Christmas Eve. And let me take you to Kampala, show you what you might be in for. And just to give you a general picture of Kampala's atmosphere during this period. And if you see the shiny buildings into the distance, that is actually Katanga slum. And a lot of you may have heard of it. But lately, it is adjusting slowly by slowly as people are reaching out to the communities of Katanga. And it's very surprisingly interesting that there's still movement within Kampala streets. Ideally, a lot of people would be traveling to the villages for Christmas. More of Makerere University perimeter wall, which is really kind of outstanding. I like the fact that trees are being planted like on this eve of Christmas. Kampala, right now, I think we'll have less and less of foot traffic, but until we reach the city center, I will not be able to tell how it looks like. So let's keep cover together. So one area, as you see, is mostly run by businesses that are kind of student-oriented. So you see a lot of hostels, in front of which you'll find pharmacies and some shops that sell things that are most likely to be bought by campus students. You remember Maria? That was a building that has come up recently.